So now this had on Nancy Pelosi, and they did propaganda for her. That's what this is. So let's watch, and then I'll explain why this is so misleading.
Now, there have been calls from some that it might be time for you to step aside from leadership and let younger, rising people come up. What is your response to that?
I love the question because I think I'm just great. I think I do a fabulous job as a legislator, a master legislator, in fact. I'm an important leader. I would have been happy to leave if Hillary Clinton had won. The Affordable Care Act would be safe. There'd be a woman at the table. But I want to be an example to women. Don't go away from a fight because somebody is questioning your age or whatever else. You cannot let your opponents choose your leaders. And the more effective you are as a leader, the more the other side will want to take you down.
At the same time that some people say that maybe it's time for you to step aside for younger leaders, there are also calls for old white men like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders to run for president. Is there a gendered element to these calls?
There always is. But you know what? That's somebody else's problem. It's so unimportant. The least important part of it is about me. First of all, you have to know what the Speaker of the House is. It is the third highest position, President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. And it is the first time that a woman ever held that position, and I was very proud of that. But what's important about it is that you get a chance to create the agenda for the House of Representatives, and there's a lot of awesome power that goes with it. We need 23 seats to win control of the House for the American people. We need 23 seats to save our democracy, our planet, our values. I'm very proud of the House Democratic Caucus because we're a majority of women, people of color, LGBTQ. That's a majority of our caucus. That's quite different from the other side of the aisle. But we want more. And women marched. Now they're running in great numbers. And we intend to win the House for the Democrats, and we can do it with women, but we want more, so we'll have a bigger majority.
There is a narrative that people have that people don't know what the Democrats stand for, or that Democrats are not running on a set of positive ideas. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I do think we are. But if people don't think we are, then we have to communicate better. The way I describe it is build, build, build. Build the infrastructure of America, all over America. And that includes not only surface transportation and high-speed rail and mass transit and water systems. It's about net neutrality. It's about having broadband, high-speed, always-on broadband throughout our country. And then it's about build the personal infrastructure of America, education and healthcare and research to strengthen people in our community. So build the infrastructure, build the human infrastructure, and very important, build our democracy. Reduce the role of money in politics, take away the obstacles to participation, the voter suppression, and the rest. Saving our democracy is at stake in this election. That's what I believe.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My
We
pleasure.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, that end was so cringeworthy. You were probably waiting for like some sort of a hard-hitting question. And he's, thank you so much. Oh my God, you're awesome. You're so awesome. Breathe, dude. Relax. Okay, so let's break this down. Listen, I'll go out of my way to be fair. Good for you, Nancy, bringing up infrastructure. Awesome. I support a New Deal. I support an infrastructure bill. So you want to bring that up and you want to talk about how this should be part of our agenda? Totally agree. Totally agree. Here's the problem. She doesn't mean it. Okay? And that's actions that demonstrate that. Not me. It's not Kyle Kulinski saying it. It's the actions proving it. So they let her frame the discussion as, oh my God, all these people who want her out as, leader, they're being so unfair, they're being so unkind. Is it because she's a woman? Is it because she's old? Look, they want old men to run, but she's an old woman, so I guess, see, this is unfair, this isn't right. That was nonsense, because everybody who wants Nancy Pelosi gone and they're on the left will tell you exactly why they want her gone. She doesn't support Medicare for all, which is maybe the number one thing on our litmus test. The number one thing that we're asking from this new wave of leftists who are now running for government, who are now running to represent people, we say Medicare for all. 70% of Americans now want Medicare for all. Over 80% of Democrats. And you don't support it and you're the head of the Democrats? And you have the nerve to go out there and pretend like it must be because I'm an old woman. Oh, come on. And then the other thing is corporate PAC money. So she said we need to reduce the influence of money in politics. Whoa. Why'd you say reduce? We're not talking about reducing. We're talking about eliminating the influence of private money in the system. Eliminating the influence, not reducing it. Because she says that there, like, we need to reduce the influence of money in politics. But then she brags, when you catch her in a more honest moment, she brags about it all the time. Oh, I'm the biggest fundraiser for the Democrats. Now, that would be fine if Nancy Pelosi was raising in $5 increments, $10 increments, $30 increments from regular people, but she's not. She goes directly to the for-profit health insurance companies, directly to the pharmaceutical companies, directly to Wall Street and the financial institutions, directly to the military-industrial complex. So that's the problem. That's the problem. So everybody, and the other thing is at times they portray it as, you don't let the opposition pick who your leaders are. We're not saying we should at all. Because, in fact, when you look at who's really against you, you have right-leaning Democrats who are against you, who are from more red states. But then you also have left-wing Democrats. You also have the populist lefts against you. So where's your support, Nancy? If the right-wing Democrats don't like you because they're from red states and they know how toxic you are, and if the left-wing Democrats don't like you because they know you're a bullshitter and you're not for Medicare for all and you're not for getting money out of the system, well, then where's your support? I have the answer. The establishment. The financial interests. They're the people who support her. And then rubes, like this guy on Now This, go out there and gleefully do the propaganda for Nancy Pelosi. Oh, they don't want you, but they want Bernie. They must be sexist. Is there a sexist element to this, Nancy? Is there a gendered element to this? Let me answer that for you. No. You want to know how I know that? You go talk to every single person on the left who wants Nancy Pelosi out of leadership and ask them who they want to replace her. You know what the number one answer is? Barbara Lee. So perhaps, you want to play this identity politics game? Fine, we'll play it. Well, you're calling us ageist and sexist. But hold on. You don't want Barbara Lee to be a leader. Well, she's up there in age. She's a woman, but she's also black. You don't support her in that position? I guess you're racist. See, we could all play this game. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's a waste of time. And that's the point is you're hiding. You're hiding behind this. And by the way, the reason why a guy like Bernie Sanders is popular is because he takes small dollar donations and because he's for Medicare for all and free college. You're not in favor of the left-wing priorities, so you don't get to then turn around and act like, I can't believe they want me gone. Well, if you supported the left-wing priorities, they wouldn't want you gone. So and then the final point. You have to understand the game that's being played on you now. Even people who were skeptical of the claims I make and critical of me for pointing these things out early on, you have to see the game that's being played now. When Nancy Pelosi says in the midst of her response there, well, the Democratic caucus, we're majority women, majority people of color, majority LGBTQ. And she says, that's good, but we need even more of that. Now, listen, if we had more women, more people of color, more LGBTQ people, am I against that? Of course not. Of course not. That's fine. But the operative factor needs to be they're on the left. And what she's doing, this is a dodge. This is the last dodge of the establishment shill. It's, us? I'm so progressive that now I want, we already have majority women, LGBTQ, and people of color, and I want more women, LGBTQ, and people of color. You don't, do you? See, that makes me more leftist than you. But what do they want to do? Nancy Pelosi wants more women elected, more people of color, more LGBTQ people who are going to do the bidding of the establishment. And then when you go, hold on, why are you doing the bidding of the establishment? She's going to turn around and go, you must be sexist and racist and a homophobe and also ageist to boot because I'm up there in age. You have to now see the game that's being played on you. Listen, I want to be kind to you, but if you don't see that game being played on you now, I mean, you're kind of a sucker. That kind of is what you are. Because there are people who've been critical of me and say, oh my God, what are you talking about? When I pointed this stuff out early on, that the last ditch, move of the establishment is hide behind identity politics so that as they do the bidding of the establishment, they can pretend to be leftier than thou. Me? No, I'm to the left of you because I like women and people of color and I like LGBTQ community. So I'm to the left of you. Anyway, all the women and people of color in LGBTQ community that we have elected, we have to make sure you're not for Medicare for all, right? You're not for free college, right? You're in favor of taking corporate PAC money, right? You're in favor of doing Wall Street's bidding, right? You're in favor of all these wars, right? That's the problem. Whereas somebody like me, I'd be more than happy with, a rainbow coalition, if you will, as long as they're for Medicare for all and free college and a living wage and the right priorities. That's the operative factor. They want to hide that and make the operative factor the identity so they can pretend to be further left than you as they continue to do the bidding of the establishment.